All right. We're live. We're going to jump right into it. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Angie's Angles. It is May the 8th in the year of my Lord, 2025. Welcome to another edition of Angie's Angles and somewhat a happy Angie's Angles. As we hit the almost 40-game mark, as my good friend Kevin would say, 1/4 of the way through the season. Clark, I am interstitial. Clark, was that your comment about Bob Gibson? Wanted to be, he should have been Pope because he was one of the better Cardinals. That was a great comment, Clark. Hey, Eric, what's going on? Raul, how are you, my friend? Raul, welcome to Angie's Angles. I appreciate you, but, you know, the title of tonight's Angie's Angles is JuanZilla has awoken. And you guys know how I feel about the Juan Soto signing. I did not want Juan Soto on the Mets. Not for that money. It was a lot of money for a guy that is 2021 is 4 years removed from a 249 batting average. Mark Brooks, my brother from another. That is funny, Clark. Only a Cardinal can become a Pope. Actually, that's not accurate. Any baptized Catholic has the opportunity to become Pope. It doesn't happen. It's never happened. But being that I'm a baptized Catholic, I could have been Pope. But I'm taking my hat out of that ring because I want to be Commissioner of Baseball, as we all know. So, Raul, where you from? Drop a line where you're from, Raul. I appreciate you signing on here. This is the Met Podcast. We cover a lot of things, baseball, predominantly Mets, but I'll jump on everything. Hey, Kevin, what's going on? So, let's talk about JuanZilla. He's had two within a week and a half or so, two home run games. The first game he had 2 solo shots and we lost the game. And last night he had 2 and we won the game. So he's batting 500 in the home run, winning the game department. Juan Soto is an enigma. The guy's got a wealth of talent that is not to be debated, argued, etc., etc. He's got a wealth of talent. But I'm concerned about his body language. His body language is showing me he's not interested in being there or being a teammate. Now, this could be just, pure conspiracy theorist mentality on my part. I will give you that much. But he came into the dugout and Nimmo standing there, waiting to give him the high five. And he absolutely saw Nimmo and walked right by him, did it? And Nimmo had to hit him on the back to say, good job. He just totally ignored Nimmo. Now, listen, I don't know how much I could blame Soto for ignoring Nimmo because I try to do it every day. Hashtag Nimmo sucks. And I'll be the first to tell you, when he came up limping in left field the other night, I was doing the Irish jig. I said, get him out of there. That was a big waste of $160 million. It was just awful. 8-year contract, 160, and he's batting 219. He's not the guy that the Mets thought they were getting. Couple positives since I'm a negative Nelly tonight. Couple positive. The Mets pitching staff leads all of baseball with a 2.89 ERA. If you would ask this guy, and I'm vetted, and I accept and I admit my errors, when we went into the season, I wanted no part of this pitching staff. I was beside myself that we lost out on Crochet, on Flaherty, I was upset on Schnell. It's turning out to be a blessing, the Schnell department. I mean, the kid from Japan that went to the Dodgers pitching pretty well. So I guess you got to give Jeremy Hefner 99% of the credit and 1% goes to Stearns for bringing these guys in, or having the belief in Jeremy Hefner to say, hey, these guys, they fit our model. We're not even seeing Manea yet. And that's a good luxury to have because we actually don't need Manea at the moment. Let him rehab properly. And then when he comes back, then we're going to see a bona fide 6-man rotation that's going to save Senga. Senga's pitching lights out like the second coming of Dizzy Dean. How's that for a reference, Clark, rather? How do you like that one? Dizzy Dean. Kevin, Nimmo can play for every team in Little League. He's not good. He's not good. And Kevin and I had an offline conversation before the show started. If the season ends today, one, Peter Alonso is your Gold Glove first baseman winner, bar none. The guy he went to the Keith Hernandez School of Defense, for God's sakes. The polar bear's looking more agile, like a panther at first base. And whatever he dives for, he catches. It's remarkable. Now with that we have to throw out a caveat that Pete needs to learn how to toss the ball to the covering pitcher. I mean, he's got Steve Sachs yips, for God's sakes, Mackie Sassy yips, if you know what I mean. Yeah, Harold, Disney and Daffy Dean. I'm telling you, their parents must have been on the juice or something when they named their children when they were born. They must have been drinking the absinthe. So funny, though. Another thing that Kevin was kind enough to give me some information in going into tonight's game, our catchers are throwing out runners at a 51% rate. They have definitely announced themselves. Kevin even alluded to the fact that maybe the pitching lab and Hefner worked with our pitchers to hold the runners on base a little bit better. And that's in spite of the 2 freaking disengagement rule by one Rob A-hole Manfred. And Harold, before you even post it, let's do it. Rob Manfred hates baseball. Rob Manfred hates baseball. Rob Manfred hates baseball ad nauseum. And I dare anybody to prove me wrong. Rob Manfred is systematically ruining the beloved game that we all grew up on. Rule after rule after rule that makes it more of a softball game than a Major League Baseball game. And this whole nonsense about not being able to stand in front of second or third base when a runner's coming at you, you must give them access to the base. Awful. Awful. Clark contributing to the show tonight. My favorite Disney quote was when he was announcing the game and the guy stole a base. Disney said he slid into second base. That's fantastic. Right up there with some of the Bob Uecker comments along his great broadcasting career. You know, this kid Torrens. Alvarez better be careful. Alvarez, now, give Alvarez some credit. I don't know if you guys know the backstory, but he spent about an hour and a half at batting practice recently, hitting nothing but up the middle into right field. He didn't pull a thing. It was an hour and a half straight up the middle and straight to right field, and it's produced some outcomes where he's going to right field. Now, Rob Roll, if you ever listen to my show, buddy, we've discussed Alvarez and his long swing. He needs to shorten it down. He needs to focus on the contact, and then the power will follow. And speaking about power, another conversation the never-ending saga had with me, Pete Alonso. If you notice any of his drives to right field, he's just flicking his wrist. And Kevin attributes his body weight, that the disbursement of his body to the bat is what's making those shots powerful to right field. You know, Pete Alonso's 0 for 8 in his last 2 games, but Eugenio Suarez made 2 outstanding plays on Pete, where Pete would have gone 2 for 4 in that game. So I'm not overly upset. And another comment, Pete's hitting the ball. He's not striking out. His strikeout rate is oh my God, infinitesimal. Is that a word? Infinitesimal. Somebody fact check me on that word. I want to give a shout out to Smoke Therapy 215, Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. It's the podcast studio for Angie's Angles. It's a great place if you're ever in the neighborhood. So the Cubbies, Harold, are coming into town. We just got done with Clark's Cardinals, and now we're taking on your Cubbies, Harold. And they're on a bit of a roll, and they're in first place, and rightfully so. And this guy called the Cubs being a factor in the 2025 season. Absolutely a factor. And I attribute that to the pieces they put together. Tyone's starting to pitch well for you, Harold. Suzuki is doing well. Kyle Tucker, you know how I feel about Kyle Tucker. I wish he was roaming right field for the New York Metropolitans. If you know what I mean. Just to show that I don't have any bias or carry any grudges, Clark's contribution is saying, those Cardinals are riding a 5-game winning streak, which started with the Mets. Thank you very much, Mets. Terry, how are you, Terry? Nice to see you. I noticed you just a moment ago. I was going to shout you out. Terry, Babs, and I went to the Coop in Farmingdale last night. Joe Louis and the Groove. Pull them up on Apple Music. They're an amazing jazz band. Holy Hannah, these guys are great. I didn't need to go to New Orleans to get me some jazz music. All I had to do was travel 12 miles to Farmingdale, New York at the Coop. So shout out to Joe Louis and the Groove. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yes, thank you, Clark. Don't get used to it, my friend. Oh, my God. We're approaching the 8:45 hour, and we're having a good time here. So the Mets are off today, so are the Skankies. And we're going into the weekend taking on the Cubbies. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. The Cubs are no joke, like I mentioned, but neither are the Mets. I mean, we're sitting at, what are we sitting at? 24-14, 10 games above 500, almost at the 40-game mark. So if we continue that, right, if we do that 3 more times, so we're going to be looking at 96 wins if we stay at 10 games above 500. And that's not that hard to do if you're playing the way that the Mets are. So we'd be 96 and do the quick math, 56. 96 and 56. That's a pretty good record. I predicted the Mets right there. I said, I believe my plus or minus was 2 or 3. I said anywhere from 94 to 97, plus or minus. So I'm right in the ballpark currently. They're tracking that way. Now, if there's one negative that I want to add to the New York Mets, they need to get more consistent with their defense, okay? No, I do believe it would be 96 and 56. Am I not right? Maybe you're right. 96 and 6. How did I do that? 4 times 14 is what? 16. 4. No, it should be 56. How could it be 66? I times 24 by 4. I got 96. And 14 by 4 is 56. What am I missing? But your math adds up better than me. I don't know. How's that work? But okay. I yield to you, Kevin. Good job. That doesn't make sense, though, to me. But all right. Anyway, 96 and 66. Yes, I understand. Yeah. No, 96 and 56. Come on, Harold. Help me out. Yes, I am right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is 96 and 56. Kevin. God. Go use a cat. You had me doubting I am Mr. Math extraordinaire in my house. Yes, 96 and 60. Right, that's correct. 96 and 56 is 100% correct. Maybe not, Harold. I think I'm seeing Kevin's point again. Kevin's right, Harold. It is 96 and 66. Yes, Kevin. Thank you for that point. I appreciate you. That's very funny. So I want to give a shout out to the Angie's Angles family. I've been posting some shorts and I've been getting 1,000 views on my shorts, which is just phenomenal. Now, if those views could carry over to the podcast, I'd be well on my way of being a somebody. But I don't mind being just me. Being me is just fine. I am actually living a pretty good life currently. 8 days from now, a couple of buddies of mine, we're going up to Drums, Pennsylvania for cigar convention. Smoking-O's. It used to be run by Cigars International. Now it was taken over by somebody else. And we're going to have a great time. So, anybody have any questions or comments they want to throw out there? Clark, who are the Cardinals coming up against this weekend? Give us a little Cardinal update on who they're facing. The Phillies are maintaining. They're winning, losing, winning, losing, winning. The Braves are winning, losing, winning, losing. I believe we're 2 games up on Philly and 6 games up on Atlanta. Now, I've said it before. I said you can't count Atlanta. Oh, you can't count Atlanta out. Although Kevin's got them. Aha, the Nats. Now the Nats have been playing good baseball. Actually, if you go back to my opening day podcast, I had the Nats dead and buried. They actually are doing better than the Marlins, who I predicted would have a better season than the Nats. 40 games in, I'm wrong so far, but we shall see. Both teams actually have pretty good young players to build around. Just depends on how long their pitching staff is going to last. Mackenzie Gore is the real deal. A bunch of years ago, I drafted Mackenzie Gore in my keeper league. I got him for like 20, 40 cents. It was a huge pickup. So we'll see what happens with Washington and the Marlins. In regards to the New York Mets, there are 2 players that must play every single day, save a day off here and there, save a DH appearance here or there. One, Luis Angel Acuna needs to be your everyday second baseman, bar none. And he needs to be batting second. Now, I've covered this on Angie's Angles ad nauseum. I won't bore you with that. I understand. And I got Mike Marciano's one of my biggest critics, but a knowledgeable Met fan. And I get it. He's saying Soto's never coming out of the number 2 spot. I ask, why not? He's not a number 2 hitter. The number 3 hitter is always the best hitter on the team. And that's Juan Soto. He's the best pure hitter on that baseball team. And why we have him batting second, it just kills me. I don't understand. The other guy that should be playing every single day, minus a break here and there, is one Tyrone Taylor. This kid leaves it all out on the field. He's got a quick bat. His bat is fast. And he'll catch everything hit into his area code. If you know what I mean. We got Beatty that's back up. How long is that going to take? We got Vientos struggling with some demons. Listen, that ball the other night that went under Vientos' legs, that was laziness. That is baseball 101. When you have a hot shot like that, you drop your body right to the ground and you take it like a man to the chest. I don't care if it takes a funky bounce and breaks your nose. You got to drop down on that ball, Mr. Mark Vientos. But we'll let you slide. You're starting to go the oppo. You're starting to drop base hits into right center. So hopefully you're going to be doing that. Harold chiming in. That counselor's doing the same thing. Tucker bats second for us. Suzuki third. Yeah, I just don't understand these managers and these analytics are driving me crazy. Okay. I backtrack. It's driving me crazier because we all know I'm crazy to begin with. I'm a baseball savant. Self-imposed baseball savant. I'll give you that much. But I know enough of the game to understand the minutia, right? You put Acuna second. Lindor's leading off. I'm not touching him. Acuna second, Soto third. That kid is going to see fastball after fastball after fastball. And he's got pretty good plate discipline for being so young. So he can work out the walk. Now you got Lindor and Acuna for Soto. Now it's going to get Soto's ego jacked. He's going to dig in a little deeper, a little stronger, and he's going to start zoning and that swinging wildly at that freaking outside pitch. And he's going to give him some really, really good at-bats to have with men on first and second and no outs. And if he moves them along or gets out, you got Alonso. Then you got Vientos. Then you got Alvarez. I mean, that's a lineup and a half and 3/4, people. I mean, I don't know how much more I got to talk about it for it to happen. And the other night, I forget who I was speaking to about Soto and Senga. They weren't doing so good in the beginning of the game. Senga had 5 walks in 2 innings, but they settled down after we both described them as not performing well. So who knows if they hurt us? I hope you all enjoyed last week's podcast with Pete O'Shea, a good buddy of mine from Oceanside Days. He's also a very knowledgeable old school baseball guy. He's also he had a radio show. He was a sportscaster. He's a who's who in that field. Let me tell you something. He wrote a book, Pain is My Friend. He's dealt with severe back injuries and debilitating disc issues. Yes, Clark, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I'm going to have him back on. So, hey, Mark, no, zero chance. Yes, thank you, Harold. I appreciate that. Yes, Pete was really, really good. I'm gonna share my thoughts with your thoughts with him. He'll get a kick out of it. He's a seasoned professional. All right, everybody, we're gonna go into our prayer circle because we're at the 8:55 mark. All right, this week we're praying. Harold, Your brother-in-law, Frank, you got to give us an update on the triple bypass. Dawn Squared. Your wife and your co-worker. Scott Tobias, we're praying for your wife and your mom. Linda, Grandma Stein, we're praying for your dad and yourself, young lady. Mark Brooks, you got to post hey, Tara, what's going on? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Mark, you got to give us an update on the house rebuild. Kevin Elliott, we're still praying for your insanity. The Krause family, we're praying for Aubrey and Darcy. Clark, prayers remain for you, young man, and your brother-in-law, Brad, and your sister, Trish. Deb and Lee, down in Maryland, we're praying for Lee's progress. Marianne Bello, we're praying for your mom out there in Las Vegas. Larry Levy, wife Frida, cancer in remission. Mr. McGowan, sir, I shot you a text today. I'm going to reach out to you. I'll give you a call tomorrow, big man. Big John and Smoke Therapy Lounge. Cousin Richie, Phil's Nona, Brother Angelo's friend Dave. Tom, we're praying for Paul and Janet. And we got, like I said last week, we got good news on Janet. Positive results. Johnny Barbecue, we're praying for your daughter Caitlin as she recovers from her hand surgery. John Vitale, we're praying for your father-in-law John Kane and your brother Frank. Joanne, one of our cigar distributors here, we're praying for Angel, who had an eye stroke. Mike C., we're praying for your dad. And Ralph, we're praying for your Aunt Doris. And Tara, oh, I'm sorry, Tara, we're praying for your mom, Virginia Russo. She just passed away, so Tara, we're praying for you. Rest in peace to your mom. Thanks for signing on. We appreciate you very much. Hope you become a regular. So next week, join us. Either Harold's going to be whistling Dixie or I'm going to be screaming from the rooftops after the Cub Met series this weekend. This has been Angie's Angles coming to you live every Thursday, 8:30. Tara, do me a favor. YouTube, Angie's Angles on YouTube. Please subscribe, become a member. I'd appreciate it. Good night. God bless. I love you.